Hello, Matthew, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the usage of our single domain controller to manage multiple clients, which is available, which is situated in different geographical locations. Like, if you don't want to establish your physical server in location of Chandigarh or Pune, so in this case, we have a various way to establish. We have a various way to distribute our services, our permission, our group policy from our location to our another, like at the Chandigarh or Pune location. So, what are the prerequisites?
Correct.
What do you think about for this particular task? What we need to do? I don't want to provide the authority to Chandigarh or Pune location. I want to manage the entire users' permissions or delegation services from the root account, from the root location, or you can say that from regional office. So in this case, you must need to establish a one server, just a server. I'm not going to install any kind of services like ADDS or any kind of services. I don't want to establish. Got it? What I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Just need to install a blank server in the sense just a server operating system with good configuration of hardware. That's it. Because the entire, which is help us to load the balance, which is responsible to contain the information about the users and password that we need to use to log in our client machine. Correct?
Yeah, cool.
But related to the permission, related to the GPO or anything that you want to serve to your client machine, you must need to discuss with your regional office, and regional office will apply the policy on your user, and you can execute with your client machine. Clear?
Yeah,
To achieve this task, we have a three different way. If you really want to perform task like this, we have a three different way. I hope you are aware from these three important services. We are able to connect our entire domain machines which is available, not domain machines, server machines which is available in different geographical location. We are able to control, or we are able to manage these server with the help of LDAP service, with the help of site and services. Is it correct?
yeah.
Site and services. And we have another option, if you want to perform the task of RODC can also help us. Is it clear? 1, 2, and 3. These all are the features which is available in our domain machine. Is it correct?
Yeah.
So in this case, think about it. If any problem occurred with the server, maybe our server machine is down, or maybe some issues with our some hardware issues occur with our server. So in this case, what we need to do? I don't think it will be impact to our what we can say. It will impact to our any users or anything.
Uh, Ideally it won't because a main directory is there in the root place.
Sorry.
Like if I have to talk about the AD, it's in the root place. Like in our case, in the Delhi office, right? In the Delhi domain directly. So it won't directly impact any of the users, right?
Exactly. Means we will. It can protect the entire user because our users are available in our
Yeah.
regional office. Correct.
Right.
This
Yeah.
server can perform the task just like a mediator. If any problem occurred, if any issues occur with these machines, it cannot impact to your services, or it cannot impact to your Active Directory user that you are using to log in your client machine. Is it correct?
Yeah.
As it is over Azure Portal, we have a one of important service which is considered as a Azure Active Directory Domain Services, Azure AD Domain Services, right? You can consider
Right.
it as a platform as a services. So I hope you have an idea about the difference between platform as a services and infrastructure as a services. Could you
Yeah.
please explain me
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
gap between both?
So infrastructure as a service is basically where we have to set up the infrastructure, but like platform as a services would be just like a service. We already have everything set up. We don't have to set up any infra or anything. We're just using it as a service, just like O365 email, right? We have to just everything is all there. We have to just use it as a service. But in like infrastructure, we might just get the Azure VM, but we have to set up everything inside it.
Exactly. We are responsible to manage each and everything, like as if you want to increase or decrease the RAM capacity or any kind of hardware that you want to
Right.
change. So we are responsible to manage, correct?
Yeah.
And about the platform as a services, yes, we have a number of examples related to the platform as a services, like the O365, and we have a load
Yeah.
balancer, we have app services. So these all are the services considered as a platform as a services. So what happened in case of platform as a services means everything up to 75% activity which is managed by the provider. In the sense, as you're responsible to manage our domain activity, means if any issues related to the hardware or if you want to make any changes with your resources, so we are not authorized because it's a platform as a service which is pre-configured and pre-designed. Clear?
Right.
So to set up a domain machine over a Azure portal, we have a two different way. One, you just need to purchase a server machine, like you just need to purchase a any server machine like Azure Server 2016 or 2012, and over a server operating system, you need to install role of ADDS. Is it correct? Role of
Yeah.
ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services, and you are responsible to perform entire task manually. Right? Configure Active Directory Domain Services, ADDS service, correct? By using what we can say that roles and features. Roles and features. Clear?
Yeah.
But talk about the platform as a services, the best example of infrastructure as a services. In this case, you need to purchase the virtual machine and then install the role. So what happened if any problem occurred with this particular machine, we will lose the entire data of AD. Correct? Talk
Yeah.
about the platform as a service over Azure portal for Active Directory services. So in case of platform as a services, means you can say that everything managed by the provider. So we just need to purchase a Azure AD domain service, right? Azure AD domain service. We just need to purchase, and after that we'll use the RSAT service. Create a one server operating system. Do not install any kind of role and feature now. Create a one you can say that virtual machine of any server operating system, server 2016, and will map the entire services of Azure ADDS to our server operating system with the help of RSAT. So RSAT is a remote server admin tool. Remote server admin tool. With the help of this particular service, you are able to synchronize entire user from Azure Active Directory domain services to server 2016. Is it clear?
Right.
Second important part, the Azure AD domain service is a combination of both, combination of our Azure Active Directory and normal Active Directory, which is combination of Azure AD, right, and plus normal server AD.
Right.
Got it what I'm saying? Azure AD and normal server AD, which is a combination of both. Remember, in last session we discussed about how to synchronize the user from on-premises to cloud. Is it correct?
Right. Yeah.
But in this case, it can perform just opposite of AD synchronization service. Because what happened, for example, you created some user, like I'm just going to give you the practical example, like you created few users with the help of Azure AD. You know that to create any Active Directory user, I don't think required to install any kind of AD services. I'm talking about the Azure Active Directory. In this case, we just need to open the portal, open our Azure Active Directory services, and we are able to proceed and create a number of users. Is it correct?
Right.
I don't think any server or any machine required to establish to create or set up these types of user or computer or groups. Is it correct? We don't need to purchase any kind of server machine. Is it okay?
True.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now think about it. Like we have already created AWS, GCP, something. A number of users are available, exist on our Active Directory domain services, Azure Active Directory services.
Right.
You can use these entire users which is available on our Azure Active Directory, entire user which is available in Azure Active Directory, you can sync with your server AD.
Okay. Got it.
Is it clear what I'm saying? For example, this is our Azure Active Directory domain services, right? This is our Azure AD. as we know that it's a built-in feature, right? It's a type of
Yeah.
built-in feature which is provided by Azure with your subscription. No matter you have a pay-as-you-go, free trial, MSDN, any subscription, you created three different users: AWS, Azure, maybe GCP. These three different users you directly created with the help of your, what we can say, that Azure AD services. Clear?
Right.
Now, I want to apply the group policy on these three different users. I want to configure a control panel policy, or configure a policy for the desktop wallpaper, or anything, any policy that you want to configure. I don't think Azure AD can give us option to configure any kind of policy. It cannot serve any kind of GPU kind of thing. Correct?
Correct.
Now, Azure AD domain service come into the picture. Now, you need to purchase Azure AD domain service. You must need to purchase it. It's a type of platform as a services. You need to purchase it and create one server operating system, create one server virtual machine, maybe 2012, 2016, or anything. Because it's a platform as a services, so it cannot give us any kind of GUI access. So
Right.
your entire user, whenever you establish your AD domain services, Azure AD domain services, it will synchronize the entire user to Azure AD domain service, and same user you can get the entire user's information in our server operating system that you establish. Now clear? You just need to install one small service. The service name is RSAT. Clear? And with the help of this particular server 2016, you are able to perform any task in the sense like as a, you can configure a group, you can set up a permissions, delegation, GPO, anything you can manage with the help of server 2016. Clear?
Yeah.
So as per the agenda, as per the task of Azure AD domain services, what do you think, in which case we need to use this particular service, and how this service can perform, can help us in real environment? Any idea?
So like in hybrid environment, right? It can come in picture when we have multiple location and we have to set up policies and things. So in this way, we can firstly sync the user. We can have users on our Azure, and using the RSet, we can deploy the policies as per the requirement. Like on a certain site, we can have a certain policy. On a different site, we can have a different policy as per the requirement.
Correct. Okay, so I'm just going to define you about the practical, because the Azure AD domain service is required up to I think 30 to 35 minutes, because it will take much time. Need to establish some multiple services in the back end, but we should know about it. We just need to proceed. We should know about the procedure, how we can achieve the ADDS services. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Azure portal, we just need to type Azure Active Directory Domain Services, type Azure AD Domain, and we are able to find Azure AD Domain Services. Just need to click here. You should know about the each and every options which is available. Next, and about the costing. If we talk about the price or cost related to this particular service, so it's fully depend upon the SKU, the stock keeping unit, the capacity of your ADDS services, right? So I'm going to show you the, and also define the price related to the Active Directory domain services. Provide the basic information like as a subscription and about your resource groups. I just want to put it into any resource group like as Azure AG 104. One of important part, you must need to assign your domain name, right? Like for example, on premises you establish a domain name with name of cloudkaksa.in, right? So you must need to create your domain with the help of Azure AD domain services using the option of using the domain name of cloudkaksa.in. So yes, I'm just going to use the same name. The reason of, I have already purchased the domain from godaddy.com, and I think we are able to use this particular domain to worldwide. Is it correct? Because we have already purchased a public domain, and I want to use the same domain in our private environment. Clear?
True. Yeah.
Cloudkaksa.in. Central US is our location. This is SKU. SKU is based on stock keeping unit, which is categorized in three different parts: standard, enterprise, and premium. Think about it. As we know that whenever we set up our server operating system and install Active Directory services on our server 2012 or 2016, our responsibility to manage the object and container. Is it correct? The main
Yeah.
motto to establish our domain computer or server operating system to manage the objects, especially objects. I'm talking about the computers, groups, or maybe users. Is it correct?
Yeah.
So, if you proceed with the standard, right? If you proceed with standard, you are able to create up to 500 object. Clear? You are able to
Yeah.
establish up to how much?
500 for standard.
Up to 500 object you are able to create. In case of enterprise, in
And
case of enterprise, you are able to establish up to 2000 object in same server environment that you want to establish in backend. Fine.
yeah.
And enterprise can give us option in case of enterprise, premium. If you proceed with premium, so premium can help us to set up to 10,000 object in the backend. Clear?
Yeah.
Because as you need to establish a hardware as per the requirement of your, as per the client's requirement, like client want to establish up to 200 user, 500 user, 1000 user, according to the requirement, they make a changes with our backend hardware. Because here we don't have access of any hardware resources, everything managed by
Right.
the provider. Our responsibility to just map the domain services with our server 2016 or 2012 using the RSAT service. That's it. We are not responsible
Right.
to perform any task. So as we know that we are on training, so I think standard is enough for us, right? We don't want to
Right.
establish premium or you can say that enterprise. Second important part, why you need to establish your forest, because you know that it's considered as a forest. You are just adding a one tree in the environment. You are adding a one tree in the forest. Is it correct?
True.
So
Yeah.
you want to establish your forest for resource management, or you want to establish your forest for the user management. So what do you think about the gap between resource management and user management?
Yes, with user management, it's just mostly towards the user management part, like passwords and everything. But with resource, we can take care of other things. Like you can entirely manage the resources, physical policy and all.
Okay, so do we have any example like in which case we need to proceed with resource management?
Um, we have to put like certain things like conditional access and all,
No, no, no,
depending on
no,
sites
no, no.
or networking.
Actually, the resource management here, the meaning of resource management is correlated to the devices that you want to control with the help of AD. As we know that we are able to control our printer, you know that with the help
Right.
of file and print services, right?
Got it.
Or
Yeah,
you want to establish your biometric devices, you want to control your biometric devices or CCTV cameras, DVR. So if you really want to establish, if you really want to control kind of devices, so you should proceed with resources. If you want to control the login permission, so I think in this
right.
case we need to proceed with the users. So I think we're good with that because we are responsible to control the client machine, Windows 10, Windows 7,
Right.
or any operating system. So that's why we need to proceed with users. Clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Next, another important part, network. So in this case, what you need to do, you must need to establish your own network because as we know that VNet is a type of service, and whenever we proceed with the default VNet, see we are able to get a subnet range /24. It means that you will be get up to 255 IP address, right?
Right.
About the CIDR value for the default network, it give you by default /16, and in the meaning of /16, we will get a huge IP address, and we have to pay the amount for the huge IP address, 65,535 IP address. So that's why, as you always suggest you, whenever you try to purchase any on services, you must need to proceed with your on VNet. So I'm just going to add one more service because it's really important for us. So if you want to means just manage the pricing related to the services. So you must need to purchase your own VNet and associate your resources with your personal VNet. Clear?
Yeah.
So personal VNet or VNet, you can say that just like a physical switch. Physical switch in the sense, you know that in our on-premises environment, in our real environment, if you want to connect multiple devices or multiple computers to each other with the help of cable, so you must need to purchase at least one switch. Correct?
Switch.
As it
Yeah.
is, as it is over Azure Portal, whenever you want to connect multiple virtual machines to each other through private network, you must need to create at least one VNet. So I'm just going to create one VNet, and we will use same VNet to establish our Active Directory domain services. Please confirm if you're able to understand.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. I'm just going to proceed with same resource group and same location as well. Type the name of your VNet, Azure AD VNet. Okay. Our VNet name is Azure AD VNet. Next, this is by default CIDR value, which is contains 65,536 IP address. I don't want to pay anything related to these IP address, so that's why I'm just going to use our own IP address 192.168.1.0 slash. I think 25 is enough because in case of 25 we will get up to 128 IP address. Correct?
Yeah.
Fine. Add a subnet because we must need to attach at least one subnet. AD domain subnet. Type the range of your subnet. So I want to utilize the entire space /25. 123 plus 5 because what happened whenever we purchase any kind of subnet from our Azure portal, Azure will reserve 5 IP address to manage the backend devices, right? So it means that on every subnet we will lose up to 5 different IP addresses, which is managed by the provider only. Click add. No need to do anything. Review and create. We will create our Active Directory domain services in this particular our on VNet. Then okay, it is in progress. It will take hardly 40 to 50 seconds. Once our VNet is ready, we will back to our Azure domain services, edit domain services, and configure our on network environment, on domain environment. Fine. So our VNet is ready to use, right?
Yeah.
Just need to open. No devices are connected with our on VNet because we just created.
Right.
Let me verify the address space. So we are getting 128 IP address. Fine, no problem. Back to the DNS. Back to the Active Directory domain services. And we need to proceed with our on VNet that we created. Click previous, click next, because it will take time to highlight here. Okay, no problem. I'm just going to refresh the page. Same procedure, select your resource group and about the domain controller, cloudcursor.in. Central US is our location. Proceed with the standard. Yes, I want to control the users. And drag and drop. I don't want to use any kind of default DNS services, default VNet services. That's why we created our on Azure AD VNet /25. Next, this is administration part, and we should know about the usage of administration. Matthew, just give me 1 minute, please.
Sure.
Yeah. So next step is related to the Active Directory administration part. In this part, we will synchronize the user, because what happens whenever you convert your server machine from workgroup to domain, or whenever you try to convert your client machine like a Windows 10 from workgroup to domain, you must need to use at least one user ID. Is it correct?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
whenever we try to convert our Windows 7 or 10 from workgroup to domain, it will ask you like, could you please provide your administrator username or password,
Right.
correct?
Right.
So
Right.
in case of our AAD DC administration part, you just need to click on manage group membership. It will redirect you on the page of members, the members that you need to add, the users that you have already created from your Azure Active Directory services, right? Just need to click add.
Right.
And I think in our case, if we talk about in our Azure Active Directory panel, so I think we created, not created, we synchronized the user with name of AWS, correct? So we have a both option. You can use the synchronized user as a administrator for our AAD, or you can also synchronize. You can also use your existing Azure Active Directory to make it a admin of our AAD services. So both users are available. The user AWS, which is successfully synchronized from on-premises,
Yeah.
correct? GCP
Right.
that we created by on using this particular panel, correct?
Right. Right.
So I'm going to select GCP. That's it. Because GCP is our permanent user, because you created. In case of synchronized
Yeah.
user, if any problem occurred with our on-premises, if your on-premises server is down, so I don't think we are able to use the services of our synchronized user. Correct?
Yeah. Right.
So that's why just need to type the name of your user. You can add multiple users. It's up to you. But in our case, I'm just going to add only one user, and now it become a administrator. So administrator for our what we can say that Azure AD domain services. Refresh the page. Yes, we are able to find GCP. Cancel it. Now next, no need to do anything. Yes, I want to synchronize all the types, synchronization all the types, like as a in between our Azure Active Directory services to Azure AAD services. N number of synchronization tasks happen in the backend, like as the password has. Yes, it is also coming to the picture in case of cloud to cloud synchronization, password write back, password SSO. N number of synchronization happen in the backend whenever we establish
Right.
Azure AD service to Azure Active Directory domain services. Clear? So yes, I don't want to make it customized. Just want to synchronize each and every services. Next, about the security. So there are two different types of authentication security are available. One is TLS, and another is related to the another security kind of security, Ntlm version 1, which is help us to manage the security related to the authentication. So just wanted to know about how much you comfortable, means what you think about the TLS. Any idea about the TLS?
Not sure.
Okay, SSL.
No.
SSL, as we know that, like as we are able to find the log. See, because our website is fully secured.
Oh,
SSL,
sorry. SSL.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
SSL. SSL.
Okay. So you can say that SSL and TLS both can perform the same task, but the TLS is more advanced than SSL, because TLS responsible to protect our website plus application. We are able to purchase the product from Amazon with the help of Amazon website and with the help of Amazon app as well. Is it correct?
Right.
Whenever
Right.
we open our website using our mobile phone or our laptop, so you must need to type www.amazon.com something, amazon.in, like that, right?
Right.
So using the port number ATR 443, which is protected by the SSL, but same website you want to log in, not website, same services or same product that you want to search through your mobile phone using the software that you uploaded or application that you installed. So in this case, TLS come into the picture and protect your environment, protect your applications. Now
Got
fine.
it. Yeah. Fine.
Okay, next, NTLM is a basically, you can say, that type of protocol which is responsible to manage and synchronize the password between Azure Active Directory services to Azure AAD services. Make sure it should be enabled, right? What happen if it is disabled? For example, if you don't want to synchronize your Active Directory user, you don't want to synchronize, you want to synchronize the user, but you don't want to synchronize the password from your Azure Active Directory to Azure AAD services, you should be disable it, right?
Right, got it.
But in case of our real environment, in case of as per the documentation of Microsoft, always suggest you must need to enable it, because you should be protect the users through the Azure Active Directory, because the Azure AD can give us option to protect our user account with various way, conditional access, MFA, and like password management, a number of services are available, so that's why you should be activating. Done.
Yep.
Now we have a two different types of Kerberos. So yes, you always try to use RC4. So RC is basically a kind of token that can help us to transfer our password from one location to another location. You know that Kerberos is the type of protocol which is responsible to transfer the authentication.
Right.
Right. So no need to make any changes here. You must need to activate the password synchronization. Click next. If you want to type the any name for this particular service, so you can proceed with tag, otherwise let's next. Review, it will be review and check the entire settings that you did. If everything is okay, it will approve you and we will proceed for the creation. Okay, it will check the each and every settings.
Right.
And one more important part, it will take up to 35 to 40 minutes, because you know that they establish a server in backend and lots of activity need to perform by the provider. Okay, now, so after validation, you just need to click create and make sure you are unable to make any changes. Once you proceed for creation, like you are unable to make any changes with DNS. You don't have a permission to transfer your resource from one subscription to another or one resource group to another. You don't have you are not authorized to make any changes with your virtual network, right? That we created, right? We are unable to make any changes with forest type, or we are unable to make any changes with subnet. So make sure and click OK. Now, deployment in progress. It will take up to 40 minutes, right?
Right.
But meanwhile, let's talk more services related to the Active Directory domain services. So now I'm just going to move ourselves over Azure Portal, Azure Active Directory Portal, and n number of options are available here, right? We need to understand about the meaning of conditional access. We'll discuss about the administrative unit or enterprise application, how we can manage. That's why I'm asking like as any specific requirement by client, like why we need to establish our AD, because we have a number of tasks from a particular active domain services, right? As we discussed, with the help of AD, we are able to control our Intune, our AVD environment, our Azure services, our Office 365. So if you just clear, because I haven't got time to coordinate to Paul. So let me talk to Paul and just
Right.
to clear about the
As per my
requirements.
understanding, it's like for my client, it's majorly for India.
Sorry, for what?
So, like as per my understanding, for my client is majorly he's planning for Intune,
Planning for
Microsoft Intune.
Great, understood. Okay. So for the Intune services, what you need to do, you must need to know about the entire AD services, like as AAD or synchronization from on-premises to cloud. You should know about the entire option which is available in Azure Active Directory. And because they are planning to establish and enroll our on-premises devices. And basically
Correct.
why we need to enroll it, because we need to provide security, we need to monitor our remote devices. So that's why. Anyway, no problem. Once we complete the part of active domain services, I'll give you few examples, practical example how you can enroll the devices, right?
Yeah, right.
How AD
Great.
come into the picture, how AD can perform the task to can help us to manage our on-premises enrollment. Okay, so fine. Okay, so we live with health analytic, right? Okay, not an issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to create one free trial account. Maybe we'll create a free trial account for our health, because AD health management, because you know that um, we must need to uh, purchase at least one premium one or premium two license
Yeah.
to manage
Right.
the health of our Azure Active Directory services. Right? It will take time. So meanwhile, let's take 2 minute time and go through the topics that we completed. Let me know if you have any question.